Alrighty then, this is J and J Mondays with me, Jockalay77, and Josh again on the other side of the computer monitor. And today this is the official first episode. No more pilots. This is it right here. How you doing, Josh? Welcome back from your nice vacation away from home.
Home. Yeah, I went to California and
She
that was good. No humidity. I know people who don't live in Florida won't understand just how amazing that is, but like whenever any time of the year you walk outside, you can drown in your own sweat. Doesn't matter if it's winter. Winter just means it's rainy.
Yeah, 'cause you were in Florida, so they barely get any snow.
I don't. I think like when I might have been like in maybe sixth or seventh grade, we sort of got a little frosting that looked like snow for maybe half a day. Snow is a foreign
Yeah, so.
concept here. When we go,
Mhm.
when us
Uh,
Floridians go to different states and see snow, it's like we're in an alien world.
well, my sister has moved there. She's now been there almost close to, I wouldn't say a year, but almost getting there. She's now been there 8 months, and she had to get used to the climate change. And she actually went to the hospital because of the climate change. Her body was not used to it, which is kind of amazing. Um, but she actually enjoying it. She lives in Orlando, and she's actually having a ball. The thing is, she's not relaxing as she's supposed to because she's going through a lot of things with medical stuff. She had gone through chemo. One of the main reasons why she moved to Florida was to get away from stress and actually, retire stress free. So, you know, from what I heard, she's doing fine. But she
Your
did said it's
sister
not.
couldn't have moved to Florida to get away from stress. We're the crazy shit state of the nation, so why, hey, this will totally relieve stress.
Well, she always wanted to go there. She has family there too, so it's not like she's alone. But she said she wanted to get away from it because our family was driving her nuts. So, but she has since been there and relaxed. My husband's working in sanitation, so everything is pretty good. So she did say that the weather there is unlike anything she ever seen. So, and she keeps an eye on a lot of the storms that comes in. But she had no complaints. Mind you, I'm not a big fan of Florida, so but
I
she
hear
lives
you.
there.
I hear you. I live in this state and I want to move out. You hate Florida unless you're a Floridian. You don't know true Florida hate.
hmm I understand. Well, I know one thing. There's a lot of hate going on with some Harry Potter fans, and not by the book, but by someone who's writing, out of all things, a fanfic. And let me just go and explain it because this is actually one of the main topic of the stories that we're going to talk about. I'm going to let you go with this because you do a lot of blogging. I'm a vlogger. I'm more of a video guy than a blog guy. You do it all. You're a blogger. You write original stories. You review books. So this will probably affect you more in terms of blogging and quality of fanfic than it probably would affect me. Even though I am doing a special on the Harry Potter series, as a person who doesn't do much with fanfic writing, but read a lot of fanfic, I find this amazing. Out of all the fanfics, this one is the one that has been grabbed the most by a lot of people. And at first, I wasn't paying no mind to it. You gave me this not too long ago.
Yeah,
I read it.
I was like, I have to read
You
this,
know,
read this, it's awesome.
I read it. I just looked at it and said, "Oh, so he's becoming a Christian now." And I read it. I kind of get what that woman was doing. Didn't really care for it too much. It wasn't terrible, but I just didn't. I just left it alone. It was like, okay, this is obviously interesting. I thought you wrote it for a minute, but then I realized you don't write kind of stuff. I read your fanfic. There's nowhere close to what that woman did. It's actually more
I
exotic than what
bad
I
stuff,
expected.
but I don't do this shit.
But she had wrote a Christian style fanfic, and she had completely changed. the whole entire, not just Harry Potter, but the whole entire universe entirely, where it's almost unrecognizable. Hermione is now no longer related to two parents who are dentists. She is Dumbledore's daughter. Um,
Dumbledore and Minerva's daughter,
yeah,
Professor McGonagall and Dumbledore's daughter.
yeah. There's so much going on with Ron, with Harry. It's just a weird, weird yet fan fictiony type story. And yet, no longer than a few weeks later, this made the news. Yahoo reporters have talked about it. There's other stories going around about it. You mentioned Tumblr to me off the air, and a lot of anger is being thrown off there, mainly because of why the author have choose to do it. It's because she felt the witchcraft is unnecessary. She didn't want her children to read anything that was witchcraft related. And many people recited those words when they made some comments, a lot more than others. And I didn't read too many of the comments on the fanfic. I didn't go back to it for a while, but I find it amazing how she have gotten this much attention. I'm gonna say what I gotta say about it, but being that you read a lot about this and you have a lot to say
Well,
about this,
I
I'm
read
gonna let you
every
have the first dibs
chapter.
on this because I like to hear your opinion on it because God knows a lot of people have shared theirs. Take it
Okay,
away.
let's go. I'm going to start off with, I'm not probably going to be reviewing this on my own blog just because I have a thing with reviewing fan fiction, and I have wrote a post before explaining I don't like to, review and critique stuff like I do like movies and TV shows with fanfics just because these are these people that are writing of their own free time, for no pay. You don't have to pay anything. But this is just it it is awesome just because how fucking horrible it is. It's like how can I mean I read like the first 3 chapters and it's like okay, you're a Christian now, Harry. And like it just the first 3 chapters are just plain hilarious of how much this author, fucks with Christianity. It's like really, really, and then I believe it's chapter 4 where the veering away from characters from their actual counterparts in the actual Harry Potter, and this is an AU, aka alternate universe, where another famous horrible fanfic, 50 Shades, is an AU of Twilight, putting Bella and Edward as just humans. It's a thing of fan fiction I'm not too familiar with, but that's what's going on here. But usually, you keep the characteristics in the same. I would imagine, like, now each house is now called a hat, and each hat represents, I guess, a different branch of Christianity, with Gryffindors being the ones that just take the Bible literally, only the Bible, don't believe in birthdays. And Slytherins, okay, let me save Slytherin hat till last, because that was the one where I was like, Hufflepuff seems to be hippies. Ravenclaws seem to be taking the Bible too literally. I guess, like hating sinners, not the sin. And Slytherins, they seem to be Catholics. I swear, I was like, she doesn't come outright and say it, but it's like, those are Catholics. She's made the evil house where Voldemort is working with the U.S. government. Hogwarts is now in America, and
Hold on, back up a second. Back up for a second.
yeah,
I must have heard this wrong. What is Voldemort doing?
Voldemort is working with the U.S. government, I guess, to take away the freedom of speech and religion, to stop Christians or something.
Well, wait a minute. You said I could have sworn you just said that Voldemort is working for the government.
I don't know. There's some connection between the two. I don't think that has been fully explained yet, except that he's involved with, I guess, taking away the First Amendment rights. Because any criticism of religion
Oh,
means that,
God.
you're saying all religion should stop instead of saying, I don't agree with this and religion and the law shouldn't mix. It's, you're just trying to take away my religion. And,
Continue, please.
I know, right? This is why it's like, uh, maybe it's satire, maybe it's not, but it's like, this is fucking great. I read the latest chapter before starting to film this. And they had angels as postmen. It's like, there's these holy beings, and they're postmen. They deliver the mail. Because of having angelic beings deliver your mail makes much more sense than having owls. Are you going to be okay, Jock?
uh, I'm all right. I'm just all right. I'll say this because you said a lot and it looked like you're about to say a lot more.
Just one more thing I just want to complain about.
When you gave me this,
Yeah?
go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Luna Lovegood in the books, it seems to other people to be having her head in the clouds all the time, like she's not intelligent, just believes anything, but she's in Ravenclaw, and what a lot of people, in the school don't realize is that she believes things based on facts that she, believes she has found out. So she just doesn't believe anything. She actually has a way, to figure out in her own way. Hence, she's in Ravenclaw. In this fucking fic, mind you, Luna Lovegood is basically me in the Harry Potter universe. And in this fic, she's in Hufflepuff, the hippies that believe, I believe in anything, peace. Continue with what you were saying, Chuck.
I'm just listening and I'm just like just scrunching my head about this and I'll say my piece now with this because yeah, this is one of the things that made the news, made headlines, made fans upset. I haven't heard anything from J.K. How I keep getting her name wrong for some reason these
Brawling.
last few days. J.K. Rowling. I haven't heard anything from Rowling. Okay, thank you. I haven't heard from her. I don't think she wants to respond to this. I don't think she actually cares. But this brings to my feelings here about this author and her fanfic. All right, do I actually care about she's writing it and rechanging it to a whole different universe? No. And the reason is the fact is it's fanfic. They're not getting paid for this. It's not recognized as an official Harry Potter universe. And to me, to get mad over somebody who's writing a fanfic, whether it's good or not, is kind of ridiculous. Let's be realistic here about fan fiction. You know it. I know it. Those even looking at this broadcast know it. There's a lot of fan fiction on Harry Potter. Not even just Harry Potter. It's on favorite shows itself that are sometimes bad to just pervertic. I read a lot of Harry Potter fanfics over the years. There's only one true fanfic that I actually consider to be very close to J.K. Rowling's universe, and that's Hog's Hand. I will always recommend that because it's so very well written. You can tell the person had a lot of compassion, a lot of heart towards the Harry Potter series, and it done it so well where if you wanted to, you can actually say in your mind, this is how book 8 should have been done if they actually wanted to continue from there. That's how good it was. And then you have the other ones where it's not about the Harry Potter universe. It's about Harry Potter having an affair with Ron Weasley, Ron Weasley having an affair with Ginny Weasley, Sirius Black having an affair with Snape.
Luke,
It's just you know where I'm getting at with this. These are not these are more like fan service than fan fiction, and it's just sometimes it becomes creepy, and sometimes not even creative. So I can't get mad. To me, getting mad at this woman who's writing, no question, she's writing it in a purely Christian way. Whether it's a good way or bad way, that's up to the reader. Personally, when I see that and when I see the reason for it, um, it doesn't entice me at all. Some of the stuff I may find offensive because this is not how all Christians thinks. It is not how all Catholic thinks or whatever she's trying to do. But to me, if I'm going to get mad at her and make it a big stink about her about this fan fiction, I got to go back to all of the nasty, unrealistic, uncreated fan fiction that's still pouring out there to this day. Am I going to do that? No. What I will say is this: that the author who wrote this has no respect for Harry Potter series. That's clear, okay? Because she's writing for the wrong for the wrong reasons. I don't know what it is with this fascination with these type of books like Harry Potter, but the people need to get over that. That these books are bad because of witchcraft. It's nothing to do with that. If you read the book series or even other series that's similar to that, they have a strong theme. Animals is a perfect example. It has a strong theme. I know it does. Harry Potter, the same thing. It has a strong theme. All right, and let's be realistic. There's also a bias when it comes to certain books like this because you can't tell me that you hate the Harry Potter books because they show witchcraft and wizardry, and yet you love Lord of the Ring, which, by the way, was written by a Catholic that has sorcery in the book. So what that tells you, what I'm saying is, basically, is you want to
it's
hate the
that
you.
J.R.R. Tolkien is the wrong type of Christian. Got it.
Well, maybe that is, but the thing is that there are lots of books that was written with magic in it that was actually written uh, by Christians, and they're very good books. So
Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis.
yes, exactly. You know, the line I think it was Jesus at
The
one point the
Jesus
way he was
lion.
acting,
And
and I
in
love
the movie
and I love
version,
that one.
Mason is the Jesus line, which makes perfect sense. He's Jesus.
Yeah, that's why I don't really get why authors have to do that. Look, she's entitled to write what she wants. In terms of fanfic, go ahead. I don't, I, you know, if there are people who don't like it, there's gonna be plenty. I know there's a lot of people who hates that fanfic, but to me, it's fanfic. I read worse. This is not worse. That's the whole thing I'm trying to get here. Now, if she choose to try and sell it, then she can have a problem. And J.K. Rowling Holland, uh, Rowling, I keep getting her name wrong for some reason,
J.K.
have every
Rowling.
right, yes, have every right, along with the Scholastic, to sue. That's how I see it. Um, but she's not doing that. She's just writing it down. Her reasons may be distorted. I know it's distorted, but you know what? If she as long as she's not breaking any copyright infringement laws, let her have her say. You know, I don't think fans should go this much of an uproar for something that's not really that big of a deal. Is it bad from what you've been describing? I guess it is, but does that
This
mean that she
is
doesn't have a right to write it?
no.
I
I,
can't
I
say.
don't believe in any form of censorship. Uh, because I think that if I start saying you shouldn't write this or that, people can come back to me and say, oh, then you shouldn't write this or that. But I'm also a reviewer, which means I don't have to like the shit. It's like you're free to write whatever. I just don't have to like it.
I understand, and I get your point. I just to me, it's like everybody's mad because they think like, oh, she's destroying my childhood. She's destroying the series. No, she's not. We don't know who the real author is. We all know that she might come back to the series, whatever she choose to. The books are still out there. She's not destroying it. And to me, making a big fuss about it's not going to change the fact she's still going to write it. You just said that there was a new chapter post and you just read it, so obviously she's not going to stop writing it. What I will say is,
I don't want her to stop
for all
writing.
these Christian,
It's like this train wreck that you're like,
for
I should glance away, but it's just, well, you should just read it because you cannot understand the. It's like The Room put in a Harry Potter fanfic. That's sort of B-movie bad.
hmm I understood. But here's the thing. I will say this, and this is from those extremist um, Christians here. All right, I'll say this. You guys do a lot of thumping around saying freedom of this, freedom of that. We can do what we want. I don't want to hear you guys complain if somebody write a Christian story that doesn't is not in your liking or make you guys look like bad guys. Don't complain because, like I said, she has the right to write her fanfic the way it is. For whatever reason, guess what? A lot of people could do the same thing. Don't sit there and try and say I want them banned for everything else. Freedom of speech is not a one-way street here. Freedom of creativity is not a one-way street here. So, with that being said, I want her to continue writing myself. Go right ahead. Enjoy yourself. I wish you well. I hope you finish the storyline. So,
I hope we find out, if it's satire or not, if it's just a troll or not. Because now in like the authors know in the beginning of the ninth chapter, it said that, yeah, I'm going to, start taking writing classes. And like someone replied in the comments section, the reviews, that that proves that this is a fake just because a God-fearing woman wouldn't do this and her God-fearing husband wouldn't allow her.
no, she did it. So I can't say anything else about it. But like I said, it's amazing how out of all the fan fiction, and I mean, there's a lot of them out there. There's tons of them. This one got the center of attention.
I
And
think that's the problem, that bad fan fiction gets more attention. Like there's one fan fiction that I usually always keep up with. I'll have to double check since he now doesn't really inform me when he posts a new chapter of this TS Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles and sort of a Blade Runner crossover. It's really, really good, and fan fictions like that should get attention, should get movie adaptations when they're finished. But instead, crap like 50 Shades, My Immortal, and now this piece of shit gets all the attention, and I feel it's a little harmful to the fan fiction community for that to happen, because then people who aren't really aware of fan fiction will be able to just know the bad fan fiction, just assume that's how the rest of the fan fiction community works, when really there's a lot of talented people that put time and effort into making the characters correct, no matter if they change the Avengers into a coffee shop AU.
well,
Fascination
I
with
don't know
coffee.
if it's gonna give fan fiction a bad name. I just don't. I just don't see it. I think people realize a good story when they see it. I think fan fiction to me, once you hear fan fiction, I think the word fan alone will tell you that this ain't the actual author. And I think fanfic is more out in the open now than what it once was in the 90s. My whole thing is that again, I think the fact is that it is a Christian writer who's writing it as a Christian story. I think it's gotten a lot more
Christian
attention than what
story.
it needs to be. Because again, I can't. I think honestly, I think it's because that the fact is that this author had made Harry Potter Christian, where everybody know that he's a wizard. I think that was drawing a lot of teacher attention. And you know how I'm surprised the 700 Club haven't talked about this. But I think that alone had drawn the attention out because again, how many fan fiction have we read about Harry Potter doing something that shouldn't
Or
be written
someone.
in language? I mean, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that I'm like, I couldn't believe that they actually writing about, and nobody talks about it in the news. So trust me, when I say I read worse, I read worse, and
Yeah,
some of them are
I
actually I don't even
might have
complete read because
written
it's just
worse.
so out there. I said this guy has some issues. So it's just I'm kind of amazed. I'm wondering if the fanfic critic is gonna review this.
Oh, I would. Oh God, of
You think
Megan.
she's gonna review it?
Yeah, well, I believe she only does completed fanfic. So when this lovely gem is, I'll keep. I might actually start talking with her and say, hey, 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 look at this, look at this. Wait until it's finished. Hey, hey, hey. I'll be the annoying bastard. I'll
I'd
be
be kind
like,
of curious because I actually kind of curious if she would do that. I am kind of curious if she would review something like this. Mind you, I think she's way booked for the next 2 years, but I would like to see how it is. If they complete this, I'll probably forward it to her. Say, hey, this made the news. So what do you think about it? So
it's just not that for me.
I
It's not
get it.
that it's Christian. It's that the way it's portrayed, it's like prayer is now in place of spells. Like, hey, God, I know you're busy running the universe, but just teleport me here. And then it's massacring the characters. Like, why is this going on? Why is this? And the whole Harry Potter series was about love, companionship, and accepting people who are different, basically, and showing complex characters. This one's, it's like,
You gotta remember, it has witchcraft in it, and they see it
yeah.
as evil. No matter if the story has a strong theme to it,
But they could have, like,
they want to
kept
hang
that
on to that.
central
And
themes and, just replaced it with Christian. I'd be, okay, fine. But they're, like, changing the central theme of
have
it,
you
and, like,
have you read any of the comments from the fanfic, or have
yes, I
anybody actually
have.
comment on the fanfic
I've
from the last?
read reviews.
What are they saying?
Oh, they get. I would love to like sit down and read all the comments one day, but it's like there's like a lot published. So once you get in, finished with one page of reviews, then you go to the next page. You'll see now that page is halfway full of reviews from the other page. But there are like Christians commenting saying this is bastardizing my faith. This is like this is just crazy shit.
So you're saying Christians are actually bad things about this storyline?
Yes, it's so. This is the level of shit we have reached. When the people that it's supposed to be, saying, "Hey, this is for you," it's like,
Hey, you know, she's not gonna stop writing it, so I think they're gonna get used to it. Hopefully, they have a satisfying ending. I'm still don't know why, because I did read the report that the Voldemort. I don't think it's true until I actually see the big reveal that Voldemort supposed to be like Obama. I don't know what it is about this. All this.
oh,
Stop
that
putting
would be
Obama on everything, please.
fucking awesome.
Oh
I mean,
goodness gracious.
first we're like saying, "Oh my God, Obama's a Muslim," and now it's, "Oh my God, Obama's Muslim."
Oh goodness. You enjoy reading the story, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like I like
You really are enjoying reading.
movies, so I can get into a mindset where I enjoy crap because I take it as comedy. It's like there's are things so bad that you can't help but laugh. It's like it's a comedy. I don't care if they're serious or not. This is funny shit. I like sci-fi original movies. It's like I'm watching Z Nation now, which is original sci-fi show that is made by the Asylum. So I like bad stuff. So this one's like jackpot.
Oh well. Well, I'll tell you one thing that I will give it credit for one thing. It did bring fan fiction to light. Again,
About the
I got to repeat this. I can't get mad. I can't get mad at this author for one reason, and that is it's fan fiction. I read worse. So unless she does something outlandishly that blows my mind in a good way or a bad way, I can't really take no mind of the overhype that the story has done. Again, people as expected, people are going to give her a piece of their mind in on the comment section, as I was not surprised. There are people constantly talking about this on blogs and everything else. So this is not going to go away. But before anybody says that this woman is ruining their childhood, keep in
No.
mind of the fanfic that's out there right now that have that is that goes out their way to turn it into the porn of the series. All right, so keep that in mind that there is a lot more worse I've read, and trust me, they have no creativity whatsoever. All right, whether you know it or not, that's not the only rage that's going on in the entertainment world. Have you wanted to see the premiere of The Simpsons?
I don't watch The Simpsons. I'm like the only person
Oh,
in America who does.
and actually, the rating for The Simpsons has been in decline the last few years, which is not surprising. It's been around, God knows how long. But a lot of fans who was watching the episode of Simpson are not very happy right now because they was promoting a major death in the Simpsons universe. Someone was going to die in the Simpson universe to make it sound like it was a beloved character. And after the big reveal of who this character was, people just lost their mind and just basically bashed the episode. Now, mind you, there's an upcoming crossover coming up, and many people can't wait to see this crossover with Family Guy and The Simpsons. But it didn't get on to one of the best starts with this episode, and the reason why is because who they killed off. Now, for those who didn't see the episode, spoiler alert. You know, in case you guys are gonna catch it again on
Like
DVD.
cover my ears then.
Hmm. But here we go. I'm gonna read a little bit of it. Now you have a different article than mine because some reason the article didn't interface well when I tried to send it to you, but it said the same thing here. Krusty the Clown's father was killed off in the show. I don't know who this person is. I know he's been in a few episodes, but he's not a major character. Um, Santa Little Helper, I believe, killed off one time. He was one of the major characters. You had some characters that Lisa befriended. I believe it was Bleeding Gums. He got killed off in the characters. Um, Flanders' wife got killed off. That was a major character. I don't know who Krusty Khan's father is, other than the fact that he's Krusty Khan's father. And they killed him off. And many fans saying this is not a major character. And they're right. It's not a major character. Nobody really cared about Krusty's father. Now, if it was Krusty the Clown, then you got a different story. He's a big central part of the Simpsons universe. But Krusty's dad, who only showed up in a few episodes, is not a major character, and many people felt that the episode was a big letdown. There's a lot of people on Twitter right now who is upset about the decision they made. And believe me, when I say there's a lot on Twitter, there's a whole lot of people on Twitter that's voicing their opinion. It's strange. In the article, it says here, "Clown in the dumps." For many, presumed that Krusty would be the one to go, but Gene spoke with Entertainment Weekly about why he thinks people shouldn't have felt misled. They was misled. It's funny that the Critics Associated Summer Press Tour in July, we said, okay, we'll make a title kind of easy and it should be really obvious. So I said, "Clown in the dumps." That's not obvious. That's like saying you just. Let me stop right there. When you say you're gonna kill off a major character and your title called "Clown in the Dumps," even though it does sound like Krusty was sad, There's only one explanation to go. When you say a major character, it means one of the major characters. It means that it may be possible that Krusty may be kicking the bucket, or someone close to Krusty like his assistant, which he doesn't have one since Sideshow Bob. But no, it was Krusty's father, which makes very little sense to me. But it says here, and when there were people going, "You're killing Krusty," and I was like, "What?" In the dumps doesn't mean you're dead. It means you're sad. I thought it was obvious. I would be nuts if it would be nuts to kill Krusty. Everybody loves that character. So here's the thing. Brother didn't say make an announcement. And this is what they did. They made an announcement saying that one of the major characters was going to get killed off. And then you put down Con in the dumps. I got news for you. It may not sound like you're killing off Krusty, but people's going to come to their mind, oh my God, Krusty's going to go. What's going to happen to Krusty? And it turned out to be the father who barely showed up in the show. Do expect a backlash to happen. Do expect people to say, "Are you serious? Are you kidding me? This is the big reveal." People lost their mind on Twitter. Uh, I'm sorry, they misled the people. I gotta say it. What's your feeling on it? I know you got different articles, so
It's just the fan rage. Feed me.
you got nothing to say.
I'm sorry, I'm not a Simpsons fan. I just know it's been on for a while and everyone but me watches it. I, they,
Well, at least give me your thoughts
the
on.
sort of funny thing is that we just finished talking about the Harry Potter fanfic, and that's non-canonical. That's doesn't have any effect on the series. And now we're talking about something that is canonical that does have an effect on the series, and so the fan outrage is just it's more truer. It has more basis because that should actually happen, written by the creators.
I can understand the fans' frustration more so than anything else because you promoted it for a whole week that someone was going to go in The Simpsons.
Someone
And
did
the
go.
person who went, nobody actually cared for. Yeah, but nobody cared for him. Nobody. I have not heard. There was one person in Twitter who actually was so upset. He said, "Try killing off somebody we care." That's how mad he was. And look, I think it would have. I think the reaction would have been less if they didn't promote a death of a character. If they didn't say who it was. Because here's the thing: you know the Simpsons not going to go anywhere. You know the main core characters: Bart, Lisa, Homer, Maggie, um, you know, Marge.
Bart.
They're not going anywhere. All right, so it has to be someone. Yeah, Bart ain't going nowhere. I mean, these characters are going to stay there. They're there forever. So you have to be careful when you say a major character, okay? Because we're not gonna think about the Simpsons as a family, the family Simpson. We're gonna think about either Mr. Smithers, we're gonna think about Mr. Burns, we're gonna think about Pooh, we're gonna think about any of the side characters that had an interaction with the Simpsons. I don't think of Krusty's dad being that big of a deal, and even the media said it wasn't really that big of a deal. And this is not the first time that the medium have promoted something like this only to be a publicity stunt or just something that was really not meant to be. Like I think the only time I actually was worried in any time when they announced a death in the series was actually Harry Potter.
Oh,
Because when they say two major characters was going to go in Harry Potter, it means two major characters was going to go in Harry Potter. You just don't know who, and there was no
Dumbledore.
guarantee that your character was going to survive. I think J.K. Holland. Yeah, yeah, that was kind of left field
That
of the
was
way
harsh.
that way happened. But like I said, it's just it you gotta be careful when you do that because if you're gonna make that much pump up for that kind of climax, you better deliver big time, and they didn't do it. They dropped the ball. They got a chance to make it up because there is that crossover, but they can't keep doing that because you're not gonna get too well stand off on that. That's what I got to say about that. What about your favorite? What about your moments? Did any of your characters got killed off? Did they announce and you was kind of surprised, or let's say this ain't a
Not
major character? Okay.
in The Simpsons or in general.
In general.
Oh, oh well, I read depressing shits and I love Stephen King, so but in Animorphs, uh, cover your ears if you haven't read it. A certain character dies in the last book, and I don't remember being as affected as most, but that was still like, why? And it broke up, one of my ships. But of course, in Animorphs, any ship is broken up by the end. Long story short, I could. And let's see, in Harry Potter, oh God, Lupin died at the end. And his corpse is next to his wife's Tonk's body, and they have now, a son with no parents. And Snape dies, and
Yeah.
he's my favorite character, but that could be a whole long explanation there. Oh, Jesus. There's
There's so
so
many of them, ain't there?
many. There's so many. Why? It's like, basically, if I have a favorite character, that's a death sentence. Because there was one character in
Well, at
Terminator
least
the
one
Sarah
thing.
Connor Chronicles, and like, he seems to be part of the main cast. He's not. Oh, he's dead.
I'll say this. It doesn't sound like none of the death disappointed you or underwhelmed you. Just like they shocked you. So I
I
think they've done their
actually have a
job.
problem with
That,
sometimes characters that appear to be dead coming back. Sometimes that's not done correctly, or it makes me angry that they're back alive because their send off was so good. In The Dark Knight, damn, the last book, The Dark Knight Returns, or The Dark Knight Rises. Sorry. The Dark Knight
mm,
Rises, like at the end, you think, oh my god, Batman's died, and then he's alive, and I was like, you fucking ripped me off.
that's one. That's one. That's one. I kind of figured that was gonna happen, but
I
that's
don't
a new
like it.
trilogy. Batman's back.
The
Huh?
trilogy's done. You can kill him off now.
Well, like I said, sometimes you gotta be careful when you pronounce a major death in the series.
Yeah.
It could lead to worse scenarios than what expected. But like I said, that's just the Simpsons for you. We gotta go from entertainment to rant rage to
Ongoing
politicians.
now.
Alright. I was gonna bring this up eventually. We're close to midterm election. For those who haven't registered to vote, please do so. That's important. Voting is important, especially what may or may not happen with the next 2 years, depending on who take over office. Um, like I said, your votes do count. Don't think they don't. And trust me, after seeing the stuff that's happened, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you want to get involved, especially whoever gets put in charge. They can actually affect a lot of stuff that's happening to us. It has affected us right now in different states, in different parts of the federal level. So you want to make sure that you at least make your voice be heard through that voting, or let your satisfactory or dissatisfactory of the elected officials that is trying to get your votes. Remember, it counts. It does. And I got a paper article that the Republicans have wants to do. I'm not. It's a very short one. It says here that the five things Republicans hope to do if they win control of the Senate this fall. Now, the first thing they said here, I'm gonna read it down the line here, is try to pass a measure backed by some congressional Democrats but opposed by Barack Obama, President Barack Obama. This could include improving the Keystone Oil Pipeline and removing a tax on medical devices. Obama might find it difficult to veto such bipartisan efforts. I don't now. That's one of the five ones. Um, the second one is number two is to highlight parties' differences on tax spending, regulation, and other issues. The Republican could force Obama to veto or Democrat senators to filibuster the GOP initiative, painting Democrats as obstructionists. What a surprise.
Yeah.
The third one is to block confirmation of Obama judicial and executive nominees who do not satisfy the Republicans' demands. The fourth one is join the House in launching an investigation into political um, sensitive areas such as Internal Revenue Services, environmental regulation, and the killing of Americans in Benghazi. And the last one, appeal the convention conservative appeal to the conservative by passing a bill to repeal Obama health care law and achieving other long, frustrating goals. Obama probably would veto such effort, assuming that they survived Democratic filibusters. But the GOP lawmakers could argue they are doing all they can, and voters should elect a Republican president in 2016 to complete the work. Now, I read all these. I did a thorough look at it, and my feeling is this: if they get a control of the House like this, and they go with this measure without actually setting real goals, they're gonna have a real difficult time getting the Senate. They may have a difficult time even maintaining the whole House. And to me, it's like they really don't have nothing else other than the fact that they just want to block Obama. Now, if they get in the House, that's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna block him. He's gonna be a lame duck president for 2 years, and hardly anything's gonna get done. To be honest with you, hardly things got done right now. And I feel like this. I don't want a person who's gonna be bitter and hold grudges. I want things done. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. We're nowhere close to being stabilized in terms of our economy. The job situation isn't what it should be, even though it has gone down in the last few years. There's still a lot of work to be done. That's not going to happen if they're going to go there and start, pointing fingers and blocking each other every left and right. That's not going to get the job done. And this is the kind of thing I'm looking at from both sides. And I say both sides because the Democrats ain't no different than the Republicans. And these are the things that I want to be very, very careful with. I want to hear what they have to say. I want to see what they have to say. As long as Sarah Palin's not in the picture, I don't care. Um, but I gotta listen to both sides and see what they have to say. I really do not feel comfortable with the way things are going. If one or the other house gets full control, because to me, I don't want them to take full control. I need some kind of a balance, and I need to know exactly where they're gonna go with this. And this five list doesn't impress me at all. Your opinion?
I'm not really politically minded, and I really need to do my research before voting, which I've been saying for like a week or two now. But if the whole thing is blocking instead of, you know, if your first goal is to stop someone instead of, help the country, no, you need those in office needs to help, those they're overseeing. That's your whole point. Uh, Being a president, being in Congress, being in the Senate, to make sure that, the people you look after, you're looking after, not, oh, I hate the person in charge, so we're going to try to stop. That's going to be our end goal. I'm not saying, that can't be, part of your goals, but if your whole main strategy is blocking, it's not good. You need to
Yeah,
read.
that's the thing that concerns me. That's the whole thing that concerns me. I read the list and listen. I'm not saying the Republicans are all wrong in this situation, but if all they're going to do is spend the entire time, which they had done in the last first at least 2 years, just basically bickering and blocking and not doing anything that's actually will be beneficial to this country, why should I go back and vote for them again? Um, this coming election. I want to vote for those who are going to make a difference, who's going to make an impact, not only towards the represented state, but also to the country as well. I think that uh, if you have a Republican that's like that, that is conservative in some areas, but actually is more moderate and can actually be reasonable in others, I wouldn't mind voting for that. Mind you, I had no problem voting for a Republican mayor this second time around because I thought he did a good job. The same thing goes with Bloomberg. Despite some of his antics, I voted for him second term. I have no problem doing that. What I have a problem is when someone loses sight of why they got elected, and all of a sudden they're doing things that's not helping the helping the city, not helping the country, but doing them dumping this to help themselves and help the guys who was lining their pockets. I got a problem with that. I got a real issue with that because they're not representing the people who elected them. They're representing those who are giving them millions and millions of dollars of donation money and endorsements. That's something that I'm not feeling at all. Anything? No comment.
I hate politics because stuff like this happens. It's like you have to look at, both sides because any news source is going to be biased in some way, shape, or form, and then there are assholes saying, treating politics like it's a no, a team sport. It's us versus them. Instead of let's sort of work together and solve the problems. And if you hate someone, put that at the very back of your long to-do list. Like
Well, I
there's
do know one thing. It will be interesting. It will be. I don't know if Florida is up for governor in your state. I don't know if that he's going to run
actually,
again.
but yeah, I think so. There's Rick. Yeah, there. I think so. Yeah. So I
Got his
got
picture.
something. This is
Okay.
something that Planned Parenthood came by and talked to me about. So.
Okay. Oh yes. So he must be running because they got Rick Scott's picture right on it, and they're not a big
Eh,
fan of his.
well, I don't know. And Dad's like a hardcore Catholic, also conservative Republican. So him like getting all this like Rick Scott stuff. It's like there's a nuclear explosion. How dare they say anything bad? Blah blah blah. It's like yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll find out because I am curious to see how this is going to go down because this month is going to went by fast and election day is only a month away, and you're going to see a lot of stuff happening. I know my governor, he's pushing for second a term. I don't see him losing at all. But that doesn't mean that he can they can make it difficult for him. A lot of officials in New York is running around. A lot of people is gearing up. Parolin is making some speeches. Don't know why.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a big push to the midterms. And these midterms will determine whether or not the president going to get things done or nothing at all. And that's something that I am kind of curious about. So right now we're just waiting. All I can say is for those who are listening to this, get every information about your elected official, to find out what his gender is. Keep in mind they're gonna say a lot of sweet things, but look between the lines because sometimes their agendas are well hidden from all the speeches they have. So ask yourself, does that man, whether Democrat or Republican, that man fits your views, and whether you think he's right for your state, for the city, for whatever he's running. That's very important. But most importantly, don't let emotions dictate your vote. Vote for the right reason. Don't vote because you hate one guy because of this, and that. There has to be a legitimate reason why you actually voted for the guy. Um, Sometimes we vote not thinking about why we're actually voting.
And
And I'm gonna
then
leave it.
what people are trying to keep off is what they do. They'll say their speeches and such are designed to make you like them. So you should look at their past actions, what they have done, what their track record is. Because the speeches is all about keep me in office. And
Mhm.
they'll promise anything. And so when people are like, well, he didn't keep his campaign promises, no shit. Tell me something new. Tell me something that actually surprises me.
All right. And I
This
agree
is
with that
sauce in
part.
the
And
clams.
well, hopefully that will change soon. Hopefully, we will have results, and hopefully, the results will turn out better than what the last two election results were.
You just froze. Your screen
Nevertheless,
just froze and
we
turned
got
black and white for a
some
sec.
box office. hmm We got the top five box office here.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, I'm starting early. Like I said, I was gonna keep it light. And needless to say, no surprise of who made number one. Actually, kind of disappointed the numbers they got because I thought it was gonna be big. So, Big Black Hat Man has got it right. He actually said it wasn't gonna be that big of a hit than I predicted, but it didn't matter. I think by the end of this week two, they will actually make their money back. I'll be disappointed if they don't. But we got the top five here, and might as well start off with with number five in general,
The
and that
sequel to the
is
movie
Dolphin
no one
Tales
remembered.
2. Um, this film have made 4.8 million. It is still 3 million shy of making their money back. So even if they do make their money back, which I think they will before this movie is over, before this movie comes out, it's still an underwhelming performance. It's not going to make the 90 plus $1 million they made the last time out, um, which still surprised me.
Yeah, I
But it is made the
know.
number five. Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's a
So,
movie no one
but it did.
remembered.
But it's still surprisingly, it still has good reviews. So it's doing something right. But it is number five. Um, and for the most part, I'll give it the credit where credit's due. It did its job in terms of family filming. Still underwhelming performance, but I'm pretty sure that once it comes out on DVD, they'll make some of that money back up. This is where I leave you. Made number four. It was number
Okay, bye.
three last week. Uh, huh?
This is where I leave you. I just decided
What
it
was
was a
that?
good time for me to. You
hmm
said this is where I leave you, so
Yeah,
I
I did.
left.
Yep.
I was shot.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Lame joke
Well, this
is
is where I
lame.
leave you. It made $7 million this week. It is a 39% drop. The film cost $19.8 million. It made 22.5 million so far on record, so they made their money back and a little change into altogether. Um, I am a little surprised of how low it has been doing, but then again, this is not. September is a weird month. It's not a month for major films to make major cash unless you have that heavily anticipated film that's coming out. So I think it's gonna stay around for a few more weeks. Probably five no later than six, but after then, I see it fading away. After that, a film that is a new release. Um, the Box Trolls made it to number three this week. Had a pretty good debut of $17.2 million. This is their first week in the box office. It was played. Wow, it was played in 3,464 theaters, which Wow, that's a lot. I didn't think it would be that many theaters. The thing that worries me though, if you looked at the top five list, it doesn't have the budget.
No, it doesn't.
So I may actually, which concerns me a little bit because I'm kind of wondering if the budget was a lot more than what this thing projected. But I'll figure it out next week. I'll check it out. I'll probably just Google it and look at it at Wikipedia how much this film actually cost. But it made 17 million. Not bad, especially considering the other two films that was out right now. Number two, The Maze Runner was number one last week. It made an additional $17.5 million. It is considered a hit. The film cost $34 million to make. The film made $58 million on record.
It's
So it
based
got
on a
itself from
book.
20 million.
It's
Yep,
based on a
it's a bit of
book,
a
and
hit. So
after I
I
finish
don't
the
know.
final Fifty Shades book, I'll be reading it, and I'll have my review of it out.
Have you seen the
Whenever
movie?
I finish it. And it's a
Have you seen the
trilogy.
movie?
I haven't seen the movie. I haven't read the book. So, depending how I like the first book, I may or may not go directly into reading the sequels, or I might finally get to reading Gone Girl, since that's another movie that's going to come out that's based on a book of, like, people all going, this is a great book, and there's twists and turns, and I want to read it. And the movie is directed by David Fincher, so sorry, I went like.
Oh,
Okay,
well, I know Big Black Hat Man was not impressed with the Maze Runner. He felt there was another version of the Hunger Games. But people did like it. It made its money. So,
that's
uh,
good. Ah. Ah.
and, and the film I'm not surprised. What happened?
Sorry, there's just like crumbs on my
Everything
pants.
okay?
Don't mind me. Yeah, I'm okay. It's just like I like tapped my pants and a few crumbs flew out, so I disposed of them now. Sorry.
uh, okay. Let's go to the number one film. I don't think anybody's surprised. The Equalizer with Denzel Washington, Chloe Grace Moretz. The film had debuted at number one. I thought it was going to make somewhere around 40, $50 million. It didn't. It made 35 million. The film budget is 55 million. I figured that this film will probably be above that budget no later than week three. Um, Again, that all depends on what the films are coming out. But the film definitely have earned a good chump change in this very slow month of September, and they're the champions, at least for this week. They made a very good, reasonable amount of chump change there. It was played in 3,236 theaters, so they had a better showing than Box Trolls. But again, let's just see what happens with word of mouth now. Word of mouth will carry the new releases through the next week, and hopefully things will progress from there. So let's talk about the films that didn't make the top five or was slipped down from the top five, because it's very
No good
important that we
reason.
bring this up. Um, Number six was No Good Deeds. This was a film that actually did make its money, but had a horrible rating. The reviews were awful. A film that actually debuted last week as number two has slipped all the way down to number seven, and that is A Walk Among the Tombstones. It only made
Liam
$4.2 million. That's your Liam Nielsen guy. You love that actor.
Oh yeah,
The
that's one more
film so far made 20. Mhm. The film made $20 million. The film cost $28 million. So I'm only assuming that it will just make their money back, but it will still be a disappointing number nonetheless. Guardian of the Galaxy, they made their money. They made 319 million,
Oh
and
God,
they
and the
made another
budget is
addition. They made additional
170.
$3 million to boots. Let's Be Cops made number nine. Number 10, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They dropped down big. The Skeleton Twins. Number 11, The Drop. Number 12, If I Stay. Tops around as well. The 100 foot journey. And that goes on and on and on. There's a big, big list. Now, there's a film I wanted to talk about because this is a movie that I forgot to mention last week. Um, I actually it slipped my mind, and that's probably because I was on a time schedule with my guest host because he had other things to do. So it did slip my mind to talk about this. Have you seen or have you had anyone who's seen Simon Pegg's newest film?
I haven't, and I don't know anyone who has. Hector and the Search for
Yeah, this
Happiness.
film came out last week. Yes, it came out last week, and the money it made, I shake my head because this was a lot of trailers was out here. Was a lot of trailers that was produced for this movie, and I kind of wonder, is this film going to be a mainstream or just independently run? And I don't know why, but for some reason, Simon Pegg movies don't get enough attention in the United States, and they should, because there's some of his movies are very, very good.
Simon
His
Pegg is
films with the
awesome.
mhm,
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz, Sons of the Dead, World's End. These are films that hardly got any push in the United States, and Hector and the Pursuit of Happiness is one of those films that didn't get pushed at all. Um, this film finished at number 51. This film only made $2,000. This film in the 2 weeks has been released only made 2,000. I'm sorry, $252,000. Come on, guys, that's it. This is a very highly critically acclaimed movie, and it didn't even make close to a million. And that's largely because this film, for some reason, Simon Pegg films are not pushed in the states. Is there a reason? Am I missing something with his style of movie, style of pictures? Is it because it's a English film and most English films don't get much push in the United States? Please explain to me how that is. Is it a well-known actor?
I don't know. He's awesome. He's cute. He's funny. He is really nerdy. What is not to like about Simon Pegg?
I don't get it. I mean, I would assume that his movies would have some kind of staying power here. I mean, they loved him in UK. I mean, I was surprised when I saw some of his films for the first time and how good he was actually was. And yet, it dawned on me that they do not promote him enough in the U.S. Why? I mean, come on now. This is the kind of guy who you want to promote in from the UK. This is the kind of guy you want to see in major pictures. Um, and not that, of course, he's not the only one that has suffered from this. Kevin Smith's film didn't do well either. And I think that's largely because of the way it was promoted limited by a lot of people. Only a certain select few have saw that film, and I think YouTube reviewers was the only one that actually reviewed the movie. And yet the film didn't do well either. I mean, come on now. They push junk more than they pushed actual quality films. I just don't get it. Maybe you explain this to me. Go, go, go.
Hang on for
I'm
me.
losing faith with the way they keep pushing films.
Okay, there's my explanation.
I hope this doesn't become a trend. Because I do wanna see his films make it well in here. I really do. There's no reason for a Simon Pegg film not to get pushed. I'm not saying put it in 5,000 theaters, but let it be enough where people can appreciate his work. I really feel that he could have a rule. He has a fan base here. If it's pushed, there's a whole bunch of people talking about his movies. I got I got hooked on it by another person saying you gotta give it a chance. You gotta see it film, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. I actually like the way he does things. And no, and they're actually saying no. We want bad comedy. We don't want good creative comedy. It's just me. Maybe it's me. Well,
Sure.
all right. We got time to spare. I am gonna do. I'm actually loading it up, guys. That's one thing I forgot to give you. I forgot to give you the coming attractions next week. Wish I'll just read down to you. I'm not gonna go too big on it. But I am curious because you was there. How big was the green? And did you see any stars while helping out in the
No,
tournament that was out there?
the tournament was for like a little like police association thing up in Vallejo County. So it was small. There wasn't like big stars. It was like regular Joes, playing golf
Hmm.
for charity. So it's not like I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything.
Okay.
No,
I was wondering because I know that they have a big golf course down there,
it's,
a very big golf course. But how was California? Did you enjoy it? Did you see anything while I was there?
yeah, I was
You was
in
gone
the
almost a
more
week.
northern part, aka away from the Hollywood part, over in a Napa Valley, which is a nicknamed wine country because a lot of wine is made there. And I spend time with family. I found a nice drinking buddy in the form of my aunt, one of my aunts, and she's reading the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy because her friend, suggested it to her. And so we, bashed it, and now, oh my, because that's a phrase that is said like throughout nearly every sex scene. And told her that when I read, those scenes and I read oh my, I hear George Takai going, oh my. And then she was like, you're making it even worse for me now. So it's now like a little in-joke thing of us just going,
Well,
oh
well,
my. Your screen froze.
I am glad that you had fun. 'Cause I noticed. It's back now. I'm glad you had fun. You was definitely miss. I was hoping
You
that you at
you
least had a good
replaced
time,
me
enjoy the
twice.
California rays. What happened?
You replaced me twice with two little guests.
Hey, like I said, they wanted to come out. I asked them. They wanted to come. I wanted to talk to James Daniel Walsh for the longest, so it was a perfect opportunity to talk to him. And like I said, if you had somebody that you want to bring on the show, just bring them on. We have fun with that. I'm actually curious, especially this week where I'm actually contemplating on talking about banned books. I don't know if you know, but we had a special day where it was like banned children's book day, where a whole lot of books were banned, which I didn't even know it was banned.
Sirius,
I didn't know
Alice in
I didn't know
Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland was banned in Japan. No, I'm sorry, China.
Oh
So we could have easily talked about that, but you wasn't here, so I couldn't talk about it.
God, I'm the big book nerd. What?
So it was banned in China.
What?
Did you knew that Alice in Wonderland was banned in China?
No, I didn't. I'm only focused on the shit that's banned in the U.S. I don't have, enough brain power to sustain the stupidity of other books being banned in other countries.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be surprised why they're banned. Though. It's kind of funny. Uh,
Drug
you'll
reference?
probably laugh because it's like, wow, you ready? What happened?
Was it banned because
Well,
of drug
what was
reference?
why China banned? No, it was banned because it was animals talking.
Japan, Japan, and banned because of. I know the shit that can go down in Japanese fiction. They're fucking banning it
No,
because
no,
of
China.
China, Japan. I'm sorry for
No,
offending
China.
everyone.
Yeah, China. You know why? Because they didn't want the animals. They didn't want children to think that animals and humans are equal. I don't know. They still think that now, but that was one of the reasons.
That is stupid.
Hey, you gotta look at the year that came out. James and the Giant's
Zero
Peach was actually banned in some parts of the country because they thought it was racist. I don't know what. Mm, I don't know if it was. I didn't read James and the Giant's Peach, so I can't say it was racist or not.
It's not. I read it when I was a child. I saw the Disney movie version. I didn't see racism.
Yeah, I kind of wondering about that.
I need to
Um,
reread that.
the Wizard of Oz, I'm not surprised about. The Wizard of Oz was banned in certain countries because of the, and it's well, one is so Christianity they claim, the other one because of the wizards and everything else. In certain countries, they didn't want that. So, you gotta look at the certain country that banned it from there. But there was a whole list of books that was actually banned, and there's some books that banned. Period. You can't even find them. So they was actually talking about that for a while. Banned children's books. Harry Potter, not surprised that's banned in some states in the
Witches
some
and
states in school
wizards
libraries.
will make my child practice witchcraft.
Yeah, there was actually a lawsuit with that, and the lady lost. But the schools, some schools board deemed it just as such an abandoned in some areas. I think Detroit did it. Not too sure about Minnesota. I know Detroit did it because they mentioned that. But there are certain states that actually ban it from
Texas,
school
probably.
libraries. You can yeah, but you can still bring it to school. You just can't get it from the school library.
Okay, it's
Oh,
banned from us, giving it to you. But if you want to carry this banned book that is of the devil, carry it around.
so yeah, it was kind of weird. You should check it out though. It's definitely on YouTube. They definitely have talked about it on YouTube. They did a good job on that. But there a lot of the books that were banned. Like you'd be surprised, and this is actually true because I actually did research on it. A lot of nursery rhymes, if you look at the original version of it, the reason why they changed it up is because the original version of it is more close to the truth of what really happened in those time periods than anything else. Fairy tales are more bloodier and dark and
Yeah,
not meant for
I
children.
know. Like in Cinderella, the
Like
grim original telling of it had the sisters chopping up parts of their foot so that they could fit into the slipper.
exactly, you can understand why they would be in the certain libraries.
And these
Um,
were like stories
like
that I guess that were supposed to be okay for children back in the day.
I don't think they were ever meant for children though, but I just think it was like it appealed to young readers. Like the Little Mermaid is dark as hell. I read that and said,
Oh
wow,
God! And she
this
commits
is.
suicide
I'm
at the
glad Disney
end.
changed it.
She commits suicide at the end because she loves the prince
I
so
like.
much that she's like, you can have, your life, and the woman he married wasn't an evil sea witch, and Ariel's like, I want you to be happy even if that means I have to jump into the sea and turn into sea foam. Sorry,
Yeah,
try to keep it
it's
as light
weird.
as possible.
I mean, the one, the you don't want to know what the Sleeping Beauty was.
Raped.
Sleeping Beauty was just, oh, this is not good.
Yeah, it was raped. I think for those of you who I haven't read this trilogy myself, but I have been told like by others, so and I might check it out in the future. But Anne Rice did not just do a vampire; she wrote this Sleeping Beauty trilogy that I guess starts off like closer to the truth of Sleeping Beauty being waken up I think it was Sleeping Beauty by getting fucked. There's no true
Yeah,
love first
when she was
kiss. It's
comatose.
true love's first fuck.
Yeah, she woke up and she found out she had twins.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
fuck, fuck, fuck. I
that,
can't give up.
and the same thing with Snow White. Like the prince came over. I tell you, these fairy tales, these fairy tales that came
I
out
don't
during those
like
time
laugh at
period was a
rape.
lot more
I'm not
darker, a
laughing
lot
at rape
more.
here. I'm laughing at the what the fuck were these people thinking? Uh,
I don't think they cared at that time. I mean, but
no
it's
shit.
just one of those things that happen. I mean, what do you want to tell you? But the thing again, I have to say, you can understand why they were forced to change a lot of the stuff around.
Yes.
Um, Snow Snow White, that prince just loved Snow White's. He didn't. He just wanted the body
You
to
liked
do
her
stuff with the
coochie.
body. I'm not gonna go any further than that.
I did.
So it's very very weird. And here's the thing: if you read the book, the witch, the evil stepmother went after her 5 times almost to finally give her a poison apple. But needless to say, the ending was a totally different ending. So for those who like those who get mad when Disney changes the fairy tales, I got news for
Sometimes
you.
it's
There's
for
a
the
reason why they
better.
changed the fairy.
Because holy
Yeah,
shit.
I'm not mad at Disney doing it. Like Tango, I forgot the original name of the book. I know it ain't Tango.
Rapunzel.
That's a dark. That's has a dark ending to it. Yeah, that's a dark ending to it. Beauty and the Beast. That's a definitely has a dark ending to it.
What? How did Beauty
A
and the
real
Beast
dark ending
end?
to it. Um, she died in the end. She died in the end. The person who cursed the beast brought her back to life, and in the end, she cursed the sisters who killed her. Until and the same story where how the beast had to find true love, and the person must love them for who that person is. Same thing with the sisters. It's insane. And keep in mind, these are fairy tales.
Hmm.
Just because it
Oh,
says
okay.
fairy tale
Since
doesn't mean
we're
they're
like
fairy.
jumping off the deep end already, if they're trying to find true love, can't the two sisters sort of true love? No incest. I mean, you're already beast, so like, what's?
Because they was jealous of Belle. That's
I
why they
know, but
killed
I'm
her.
saying about if you're going into like
Slowly,
true
by the
love,
way.
you're freaking like if the whole thing is like finding true love, the sisters can find true love in each other, right? I mean, what's a little incest between friends?
Hmm. Well, like I said, there's a reason why a lot of these stories was changed because they would have been banned themselves. They would have been banned and gone. So, um, but it is amazing. That's why when people was not mad. I don't know if you've seen the movie, which is going to be where she played the evil wicked stepmother in the Snow White, A Tale of Terror. They said that was actually more true to the book than it was than the actual Disney one. Yeah, it was a horror film, so
Yeah,
you
what's
probably
the
never heard
name
of
again?
it. Snow White, A Tale of Terror.
Might have to check that out. I mean,
Just look up.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, she was vicious in that film. She was she was mean in that film. I was like, yeah, this is classic Sigourney Weaver right here. But so for any case anybody wants to know, like I said, there's a lot of books that are banned. Some of them are banned with good reasons. Some that was rearranged to make it more family friendly. But keep in mind, there's a legitimate reasons behind all that. It's all you need to do is look at the history. You'll be surprised of how it is. All right, now we're at that time because I know we got a lot of things to do. You have a lot of things to do to catch up on. My computer screen is going nuts here. So
Woohoo!
I said it's trying to tell me to close up shop, which I'm going to do right now with the October 3rd movie releases. There is a couple of films that are coming out. Um, and we might as well get right to it because there are a couple films that have gotten a huge attention. There are some films that are coming out with limited release. I'm only going to talk about the one limited release because it looks so ridiculous. You know what? Hold on a second, because you got to see this for yourself.
No, I'm closed out of Skype.
You got to see this for yourself. All right, hold on. I'm gonna, if they let me.
Okay,
It
well,
didn't
I
let
could.
me.
Okay.
Oh yes, it did. Look on the side of your screen. There
Chat.
should be a
Oh,
link there.
chat.
You see it?
Ooh. Okay. Hey, holy shit. Okay, hang on.
You got the link?
I got the links. Redirecting you to blah blah blah. Come on, just fucking redirect,
Okay.
bitch. Hang on. God. Okay. Gone Girl. Yeah, that's
Okay, that's the first one.
okay.
This is a film
Okay.
that's coming out this week.
Sorry, my screen's just like. Oh, okay, it's fine.
All right. This film is 84 minutes long. It says pretty
Oh,
much simply says his wife disappeared, having
no,
become
no,
the
that's not
focus of an
84
intense media
minutes
circus. A
long.
man.
Shockerly, it's not 84 minutes long. The Mez score is 84
Oh
out of
no.
100. It's
Oh,
149 minutes long.
oh, that's the critic. It's
Yeah,
149 minutes. Yeah, I'm looking at Minicore for some reason. I'm sorry. Um,
it's
it is a
okay.
drama mystery thriller. It's a story about his wife's disappearance. Yeah, it's a story about his wife's disappearance. Having become the focus of intense media circus, a man sees a spotlight turn on him when he is suspected that he may not be innocent. Why do I have the funny feeling I've seen this before?
It's like I've actually heard about it, before before I heard about the movie, and I've been meaning to like I was thinking about reading it. And I'm like, I'll just put it off, but I've since heard really good things about it. And I was like, damn it, I don't know if I should just finish up 50 Shades and then go to Gone Girl instead of the Maze Runner. It's just there's supposed to be a lot of twists and turns. Like I guess it's something more than it first appears. So everything I've heard about this is good. That this seems awesome. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing
No.
and reading this. Just its twists, turns, and I think the author at one point talked about the media like being a third character, and it just seems really good. And the author herself helped write the script, and David Fincher is directing, which is also he's a good guy for filming.
No, well, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a mess, to be honest with you,
I think it's going to
unless
be
Neil
good.
Patrick Harris can actually bring it up a notch. Um, I don't know if it's going to make the money though, but again, it sounds like
How
there's
good of
something
an
I've
actor
seen
is
before a
the
long time ago. hmm the second film coming out this week will be The Good Lie. Um, this film is 110 minutes long, PG-13 drama. Refugees given a chance to resettle in America arrived in Kansas, where they're encouraged. They encounter an employment agency counselor forever change all their lives. I have nothing. I
I
don't know
don't
what to think about this
know.
film. Um, it's a drama. It may work. All depends. Um, I'm not giving up too much hope. The first horror film of the year is coming out. That's what I'm actually looking for. Um, Annabelle. Annabelle, a couple being begin to experience terrifying supernatural occurrences involving a vintage doll shortly after their home is invaded by satanic
Satanic,
satanic cultists. Why do I
satanic
have to write
cult.
things so small? Okay, thank you.
De nada.
I am actually looking forward for this film. I'm actually looking forward for this film for one thing. I heard so many stories about haunted dolls. Real life stories about haunted dolls. This is actually based on one of those haunted stories. I don't know which one, but it always fascinates me about how a doll can become this evil little devil thing. Um,
It's already an
this is
evil
something that looks a little
thing.
different from the normal thing, so I'm actually looking forward to that. As for it being a hit or miss, I I say it's a toss up. There hasn't been too much word of mouth on this film as much as one may expect. I think people look at it, it's going to be over glorified. I tend to agree, but again, it is Halloween month. It is October where you're expected to see lots of suspense and lots of horror.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward for it. Uh, bring me
Uh,
back to traditional horror films. I'm tired of found footage, but to find out loud.
yeah, found footage I hate for the most part. Like 9 out of 10 times, it's like, fuck. It's like Supernatural did a little found footage episode, and that was at least the worst episode for me. Not because the characters were sort of bad in that episode or anything. It was just so. It was like I was looking at my the clock. I was like, it's only been 3 minutes. This feels like 5 hours.
That's slow, huh?
I just didn't hate them. I
Mm.
just it's like no, no, get away, go, go. The only I get found footage movies I like is Chronicle, and I would say the Chernobyl Diaries sort of counts because parts of it are in found footage and parts of them are actual, filmed like a movie.
Hmm. All right. Well, sound like you're interested in this one. It
It's
definitely
sort of
sounds like a sci-fi movie for you. Uh,
it's Annabelle is for those
Not
of
too
you who
sure.
don't know is break off split it has to do with the case told in the first
Yes.
Conjuring movie. And the only thing I doubt the authenticity of this, if this actually happened or not, which doesn't bother me at all in horror movies because I've heard the based on true story shit claims so much that it's like, meh. But the thing is, the people that the Conjuring focused on, they also, th- did the case of the Amityville horror, which turned out to be a fraud. So anything they do, I just look at them as frauds. But I like the movie, except for dog was killed in the beginning, and that's not bad enough. I used to have a dog called Sadie. A dog called Sadie dies in the beginning, and I text Brian like, "Why didn't you tell me?"
Well, maybe this one will surprise you. Maybe this will be one of the better horror films we've seen all year.
Yeah, I
Who
think it's
knows?
going to fall in the middle.
Uh,
Myself. I don't think it's going to do too good or too bad. It's
it
going
could.
to, I don't know.
It can't be any worse than most of the found footage films I've seen over the years.
Don't give them
So
challenges.
I welcome this.
You'll regret. You give
No
people
regret.
challenges of making crap, they rise to the occasion.
Hmm. This one, I'm actually there's two films. I'm gonna not gonna say much about men, women, and children. It's a limited release. The film is a group of high school teenagers and their parents attempting to navigate the many ways of the internet have changed relationship, their communication, their self-image, and their own love lives. I can just look at YouTube and I can understand what they're coming from. So, it's a limited release. I don't think it's gonna make much big clout. The film that I think that will, because everybody want to see how Nicolas Cage is gonna do this film. I want to watch it. The simple fact is, this is perfect Nicolas Cage.
No,
You're
no.
excited.
Okay, okay. This is based on the book series Left Behind, And I've read all the books, and they were decent. Decent, about the rapture happening. And I think Kirk Cameron made two movies based on Left Behind. And I think,
Three, three.
yeah.
He made three.
Oh, whatever sorry,
Yep.
my memory is
He
trying to
got
forget
sued for one of
itself.
them.
Sorry, I've only seen the first movie by him, but and so the now this version with Nicolas Cage, I think I've heard, I'll have to double check, only deals with part of the first book. And when I saw the preview for this, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not really interested in, wouldn't have been interested in seeing it, except, how is Nick Cage going to fuck this up even more? It's like,
I think he's gonna do brilliant. I think he's gonna be doing great because it feels like this is what Nicolas Cage would do. Um, and I seen the trailer. I haven't seen too many pushing and commercials. It is PG-13. It is 110 minutes, and it basically says in the small details, Nicolas Cage starring in a first base, in a faith-based thriller, is not really surprised when a man career chooses the more interesting than his work on screen. Basically talking about Nicolas Cage. They
yeah.
mentioned Kick-Ass, of course. To me, I want to see this because I think his will be something he can run with. I do not want to see Nicolas Cage play a mellowed down person. I want to see him go crazy with this film. I really do. It does look like he's going to do it. As for this film, I honestly don't think it's going to be too much faith based in this film. I really don't. But it does have a good star cast. Someone I didn't see in a long time, Leah Thompson. My God, how long has it been since I heard her name? I think the last time I think I saw her in a film other than Back to the Future was Dennis the Menace. I haven't really seen her in a film in a long time, so it's kind of interesting to see how she looks like. But yeah, the people been talking about this film. People can't wait to see this film because they saying if Nicolas Cage be like Nicolas Cage, it was worth every penny of it, even if the film is bad.
Yes. I was like, now I have to see it.
Mm. Have you seen it? If you how was the book? How was the first book? Because I did read part of the books. Didn't go
I
too deep into it, but I thought it was an interesting grab. What's your feeling on the books?
Well, I haven't read any of the books since freshman or sophomore year of high school, maybe junior year of high school at most, so it's been a long time. I was a Catholic at the time while reading them, and they were enjoyable. I may need to reread them again someday. They were decent.
Hmm. Well, I know Kirk Cameron was not doing anybody favors with that made for TV movie. Um, there's two more films that's out here, but there's one film I want you to look at. Forget about the La Chamber Blue, the Blue Room, if you want to call it that, and it's going to be limited releases. I want you to look at the last one that's rated G. Just look at that poster.
Did you slip something into my coffee? An imaginative tale chronicling the adventures of a diverse band of crayons as they strive to protect not only their magical, multi-hued homeland, but the imagination of children everywhere from a terrifying monster called Bad Trip.
Look at that poster.
I'm not looking at it anymore. No, you can't make me.
First, first, this is the.
Fuck you.
I don't know what theater's playing this movie. I really don't.
Limited.
And the thing about it is this: look at the star power behind this movie. Christina Ricci, Sean Austin, Owen Wilson, Elizabeth Daly. That's
See,
the star power this movie got.
Frodo leaving, it should make you go like this. Dude.
These supposed to be crayons. They look nothing like crayons. I saw this and I'm like, oh no, no,
No. No.
no.
No.
The heroes of Color City. This is the worst poster I've seen since Judy Moody and the Not So Bum Summer and Oogie Loves. This looks so cheap. I mean, I'm sorry. This looks so cheap.
God, it's
This this should this should be on direct DVD, not in the minute releases. You're not gonna make no money with this. People will see the poster and they're gonna
go
laugh at
fuck
you
it.
and they're gonna say, "What are you doing?"
Weed. Some nice
You know
LSD.
what? I should just make it my.
Acid.
I don't. Listen. Look, I admire them making children's movies appealing. There hasn't been G-rated movies out there in a long time, but I'm looking at this poster and saying, you know what? I honestly thought this was the Wizard of Oz knockoff almost, because the way they position these crayons, that doesn't look nothing like crayons, running down the road. The only thing that, yeah, this is gonna. I'm gonna look for this film. You know what? I'm gonna look for this film. If there's a theater in New York City that plays this movie, I don't care if they played it on
Oh,
one time.
okay,
I'm gonna look for
next
this film.
week, if you fucking see this film, you get to talk about it. But you may not
I'll
take
try if I
any
can find it.
recreational things before seeing the movie to enhance the experience.
It's in 3D. I'm not worried about it. I'm not seeing this in full price. I'm gonna make sure. Like I said, if it was in 3D, they definitely looking not to make money. I can't understand how to. Really?
Yeah,
Oh well, okay. Well,
okay.
good luck.
Okay.
Good luck. I got nothing else to say. That's the movies that is going to be released next week. Um, Left Behind, I'm gonna say it's going to be a miss for one reason. I don't think this was promoted enough.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage career isn't what it once was. Um, I'm going to take again and say it's going to make 13 million. 8 millions to do the worst it can do, but I don't see it doing any further than that. I think this is it's picking a bad time for it's going to come out that month. Gone Girl, I think it's going to be a miss, but not by much. I think Ben Affleck and Neil Patrick Harris is going to do something with that. Uh, I think the weakest on the lineup is pretty much the film I just talked about, Left Behind. I think Annabelle will be a hit because I think a lot of people is thirsty for horror. I think it's gonna be right there with the other film that we talked about, Gone Girl. I think it's gonna be right there. People want to see horror; they don't want to see drama too much. That's why I think the other film I mentioned, what's the name of it? The Good Lie, is not gonna do well at all in the theaters. I think that's gonna be a miss. Um, and I'm gonna go on and say it. I think that despite all the new movies coming out, I don't see Equalizer going down from first place anytime soon. I think it's gonna stay there.
I think it might drop maybe the second or third. But it won't have a big drop.
No, I won't.
I think Gone Girl has fans of the book, so at least opening weekend, I think Gone Girl might push Equalizer maybe the second or third. I need
No,
to read
let's
the
just hope
book.
so. But well, you have. It's been a while. You've been on vacation for almost a week and a half, so I know you got a lot of stuff you want to inform your fans of. And while you're yawning,
No, that was an
what
appropriate
is it?
point
What new
yawn.
project you got to work on?
Okay,
So,
this
what new
Wednesday,
projects?
this Wednesday should be the second episode of With Extra Happy, my Animorphs podcast with Keytor. I just have to make sure later today that we're on for Wednesday. And we're going to be talking about Andalites, one of the main species of the Animorphs universe. And then on Saturday, should have an episode of Jash Talks. If anyone is listening, there's still a spot for one guest, and we'll be doing a review of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, so of course you must watch it before the podcast, even if you've watched it 50 million times before. Drag a friend in. Do like a Clockwork Orange thing and force them to watch it if you need to. And my review of The Leftovers Season 1 should be out later today, probably at night. And then in a day or two at least, there should be my review of the first season of Extant. Both of those will be written, and I'm doing my vlog reviews have started, and since I've been back, I've done a review of the premiere episodes of How to Get Away with Murder and Scorpion. I've started reviewing Z Nation on the Siffy channel, which is just hilarious. It's like not good quality, but it's just so much fun. Shit, I'm forgetting one. Oh, and the Doctor Who episode I reviewed. Shit, so that should cover.
So back in full swing.
Yeah.
Back in full swing. That's all I gotta say. My Park Slope final two chapters will be posted up very very soon. I had to stop due to some personal matters that forced me to put everything on hold. That and the fact that I had to deal with some stuff um, with my internet connection these days. And but everything should be back on. To premiere a flashback review will start this week. I will have the first flashback review episode posted. A special episode will be announced later on. Originally, it was going to be the premiere episode, but I decided to hold back due to I want to make sure that this actually has the right have the right flavor, especially with some of the topics that I'll bring on. Know this though. When that does happen, it will not be a J&J Monday episode posted. That will be replaced with a special flashback review, so that way we can get done. So I was just letting you know ahead of time when you hear that announcement. It will be a special live stream flashback review, and it will be dealing with directors, actors, musicians, and films that we have seen during the 80s, 90s, or even today. So be prepared for that. That's going to be coming soon. And that's pretty much it. So, any last minute things you want to say, Josh, before we cut off the air?
Let's see what other things. Oh yeah, my written review of the Scorpion premiere episode should be on the TerminatorFans.com maybe later today, depending on how fast the owner of the site is working and can edit it. So it should be out in maybe a day or two.
All
I
right.
write for Terminator
And with
Fan
that being
site.
said,
And the thing is,
and
Scorpion
with that
has
being said, I
Robert
might as well
Patrick,
remind.
so that's why I was asked to review it for the site.
I understand. And with that being said, I almost forgot to mention, for YouTube, the newest Adventures of Sherlock Holmes will be finally be posted later on this month. The only reason why I didn't post it for a while because I want to let the others want to get a chance to catch up. It has. I also want to thank those who have made some very interesting comments on the older stuff, especially the one I did a complete version. I am planning to go back on that. The only reason why I didn't do it earlier because it's a pain to wait 6 hours to 12 hours to have that thing fully complete itself. It is very very lots of materials, but I am going to do the Sonic 4 as a full version. And while I'm doing that, I will also start to post the new Adventure of Sherlock Holmes. Now, keep in mind that this is a Liverbox production. It is a royalty-free production, meaning that these are volunteers as doing these voiceovers. I understand that there were one guy person, a woman, who didn't do a very good job with the voiceover. I'm not blaming her. She volunteered, so I'm gonna try and make sure that when I before I post it, that the voices is not going to be something that people dread. But for those who love Sherlock Holmes, the third Sherlock Holmes stories will be done. It's going to be a collection of short stories that people will love, and hopefully you guys will enjoy from there. And if you guys want information on how you yourself if you like to do an audio recording of your favorite classic books, or even have an original contact, I will leave a link in below to LibriVox.org so you guys can actually get information there and possibly even volunteer. Keep in mind that books should be treasured forever for everybody to see, especially those classics. And with that being said, this is J77 saying, until next week, you take care, you be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Say goodbye, Josh.
Adios, amigos.